right, it is time for Try It Tuesday. And
Try
this
it
morning,
Tuesday.
this is a TikTok thing that's going on right now.
Ahmad is our TikTok correspondent.
Yes, I
thank
spend
you.
about like 5 hours a day on there.
Oh, my
and
God.
this
show
is-
show prep.
Yes,
Show
and
prep.
my feed has been like inundated with this like Sprite tea hack. People are putting, you get a bottle of Sprite, just a little personal size, and you shove a tea bag in there, and it actually steeps. Like, if you could see, Irvin's going to post it. It's pretty dark.
Now, when did you do
Oh, yeah.
this?
I did this about an hour ago.
So within an hour, you've got a pretty deep, rich brown
That's
Sprite.
That's Sprite. And it looks like
It's Sprite,
it looks
but
like
it looks
tea.
like
Let me
tea.
tell you, it's
like
not
Pepsi.
going to
the
work.
color of tea.
Pepsi. It looks like watered
If
down.
you try to put the Sprite like in a cup with a tea bag, it doesn't work. I don't know if you can see on my camera. You can't see on my camera, but I had it in there for at least 15 minutes and it's barely brown.
I think it's
So
gotta
you
be
have
sealed.
to actually put the tea bag in the
Yeah.
bottle of the Sprite.
Just kinda
You
scrunch
can't
it up
pour
a little
Sprite
bit.
over a tea bag like in a glass and
No.
think it's going to steep like a hot water. And
All
actually,
right.
guys, I grabbed a bottle of Sprite that I had when I realized my cup situation wasn't working and I shook it. So that I could
Oh,
make it.
no. You just got sprayed?
And no, I didn't get sprayed. I have all the grounds of the
Oh,
tea.
no.
Busted.
You're probably not going to
Drink it and see if it
that.
sticks to your
Ew.
teeth.
Yeah. It's got like brown teeth.
It's fine.
Does it matter what kind of tea we use? I just use a regular Lipton tea
Like
bag.
they,
We did too.
Yeah, regular
Okay.
old tea. It doesn't say
All right.
green, black,
Let's open up.
whatever.
Let's pour one out.
I use cold brew because this is a cold Sprite.
Okay.
Cold pop. Because I thought somebody was
pop.
barbecue. And I got the bronchitis.
Hey, don't aim it towards...
Yeah, go do another room.
No,
real quick.
not towards me either.
Why do y'all think it's going to explode? Did you shake
Well,
it?
yeah.
It's fizzing. I didn't shake
fizzing.
it.
It'll go down. It'll go down in a
Do it out
second.
there.
Hold it in
Just
the trash can or something.
Yeah, just let the pressure
Yeah.
out gradually.
I think that I'm better off trying to drink the
that's real
Sprite that
bubbly.
was in the cup. That's
Okay, here he goes.
darker than the
All
Sprite
right.
that's in the
He's
bottle.
going slow.
Let's
Go
see what
slow.
y'all think.
Get
Who's going
faster.
first?
Hold
He's
on.
opening
We're
the
gonna
bottle.
open it.
We're
We have to
having
open
issues.
it first, Rula.
Here we
Don't
go.
want
Yeah,
it to
see it.
explode all over the place. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's good, Ahmad. There we go.
All right.
Usually sometimes there's fizz and it just goes psh, and then you're
No,
good.
this looked like it was going to
It
explode.
was, yeah.
Okay.
really
There was
fizzy.
a lot of
George would
bubbles
not be
in
happy
that.
with us.
Now, do you guys?
Our
Does
engineer.
everybody in the room like tea? Because I don't like tea. I'll try
I
it.
love
I
tea.
love it.
try
Oh,
it.
you don't like
No, I've never
It's
liked
my
tea.
water.
I
It's
love
my
it.
water.
I'll try it.
at a restaurant?
I love iced tea. I love it.
But you know what? Iced tea will keep me up if I have it after 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's got caffeine.
Are you
How
serious?
funny, Kev.
Yeah.
But you can drink Calijios and be totally fine.
Well, that
How do
has
you drink a
booze in it.
Carajillo at night?
Booze is different
that's
than
way more
caffeine.
caffeine than the iced tea.
Yeah, that
Good
doesn't make
question.
No, Ryan,
No,
Carajillo is cold
It's
coffee,
coffee.
like usually like a cold brew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Major caffeine with liquor 43.
But can you do
How
it
do
with
you drink
decaf?
that, Kev? But iced tea's making you stay up at night.
That is strange. But so I started buying decaf tea, like Sanka.
Oh, say it.
Okay, Richard Hunt. Look at you, Richard Hunt.
We got like
It's going to
80-year-old
keep you up from
man
the
tea.
HOA meetings in the morning.
Is that tea
Okay,
decaf?
who's going to go first? Eric's got some tea in his
all
hand.
have
This
it.
is
We
the
all have
TikTok
it.
Sprite challenge with
All
the
right,
It
everybody.
smells like
bag
Sprite.
and the
You
Sprite.
Smells
can't,
like
cheers.
Sprite.
you
Cheers.
can't
Cheers.
smell the
Cheers.
tea.
Cheers.
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Let's go.
It tastes like Sprite.
Yeah, I don't taste any tea.
Zero tea.
No tea.
I don't think
Anybody
I
taste the tea?
I don't taste tea.
Not
I
at
don't
all.
taste tea either.
I taste no
No.
tea. It's got the brownness, but I
It's
just
got
taste
the
Sprite.
brownness.
If I
has
try
the
the
color.
Sprite bottle with the exploded tea,
Yeah, yeah,
I bet
do that
I'm
one,
gonna
Rula.
Drink
Yeah,
that
just
one.
take like a sip of
Because
it.
my other one was more steeped in the cup
This
than
is
this.
stupid.
Now
this
on
doesn't even
TikTok,
taste like
Ahmad,
tea.
how long do they recommend that you have the tea bag soaking?
You know, they didn't really say. They kind of just put it in there, and then it jump cuts to them drinking it.
So it just
I guess
it looks
that's a
cool, but it just
bull
tastes
crap
like Sprite.
fail is what this
It's
is.
just cool to
This is
disguise
fakery.
people like to show like Pepsi. Back in the 90s, they did Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, yeah, it was
Ahmad's
clear.
like,
yeah.
You weren't even born.
no.
Crystal Pepsi.
I feel like I've heard of that.
It was
though.
clear.
They brought it
was
back for a
clear.
second.
Yeah, you poured it out and stuff, it being like...
It tastes just like Pepsi, but it's
It did not taste exactly like
No?
Pepsi. It had some kind
I'm sure
of
my
weird
dad loved that.
taste
He's like,
to
Look,
it.
I'm drinking
Crystal
water.
Pepsi. What was the point? That sounds like a
Well,
marketing
since this is
scheme.
such a
Marketing.
fail,
It was
Eric,
definitely just something different. I wanted to get people to talk. Like, oh my God, Crystal
Maybe that's
Pepsi.
what Sprite is doing. Because
Pepsi
now
also-
we're talking about it.
Pepsi
When's the
also
last time you
did,
had a Sprite?
a contest in the 90s where if you open the can, a little flag would pop up
oh yeah.
and you'd win something.
Wait, was that the same time?
That's
Have you
cool.
guys seen?
Something happened. I don't know, a lawsuit or something happened.
Have you
Somebody
seen
must have
that
swallowed
documentary?
that flag and choked on it and was
Yeah.
like, okay, I have millions of dollars now.
There's a documentary on Netflix, and it's about, I think it was Pepsi.
Pepsi, Where's My Jet?
Where's my jet?
Yeah.
And the kid got all the Pepsi points, and he's like, okay, I've drank enough Pepsis. Where's my F-15 fighter plane?
Yeah.
And he took him to court, and they were willing to settle. Like, he was going to get millions of dollars, and he's like, no, I'm not taking it. I want my jet. And he ended up getting nothing.
Wow.
Oh, that
ridiculous.
sucks.
I just saved you 2.5 hours.
You just told the whole story.
I just saved you
Thanks for
2.5
telling me.
hours.
So
It's cute,
I
though.
think that the sugar and flavoring is too overpowering for this.
You can't
tea.
taste the
I
tea.
tasted on the
Sit
back
up.
end just the
It's like
slight
a little after
I feel
bite.
like if you
So
poured
for
it
those
in a
just
glass.
tuning in, let's reset. Look, for those just tuning in, it's Try It Tuesday. It's a TikTok thing about Sprite with a tea bag in it. Let it steep. It'll turn the Sprite brown. We're trying it, but nobody's really tasting the tea. And how long did you let it steep, Amon?
It was like an hour.
Yeah, it was a good hour.
Hour and a half.
So maybe if you
See,
let it
so-
soak overnight.
What? Who's
And then
going
have
to
it
do
the
that,
next
though?
day.
Doing all of
No.
that now.
It's a lot of work.
I think if you
I'd rather have
poured
real tea.
normal
Yeah.
Sprite and then this mixture together and close your eyes, I don't think you could tell
I think
the
we should take
difference.
that Greek liquor that's over
Yeah,
there.
do you got any booze?
The metaxa.
Open that
Try
up.
it. It's cognac. Try it. For those that missed
can we,
this,
please?
Big
Drink it
Fat Greek
straight?
Wedding
Oh, hand me
3
that bottle.
sent me a promo box, and because I'm not in the
During the-
studio, the box has sat there for a week.
Yeah,
So
during-
Sam unboxed it
during
for me
the-
this morning.
During the break, maybe I'll open that up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, try the metaxa. Try it. Because
Okay, I
metaxa is supposed to be
actually-
taken straight, like neat. And I made a metaxa sour. My sister made a metaxa sour, and it's delicious.
I'll go find the bottle, and during the break, we'll
I think
try it.
vodka goes better with like Sprite than say a bourbon.
Ugh.
That sounds like a
There's a
recipe.
brand.
for
I've never
throw-up.
mixed metaxa with Sprite, but hey, let's try that too. Woohoo! I got some metaxa here. You can open the bottle there.
I'll try. Well, we can drink that while we listen to true crime stories.
Yes, we want to hear from
Dun,
you.
dun, dun.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's like
True
Eric's like
crime,
Facebook, like
Drunk
I'm gonna
Tuesday.
do my makeup
Yeah.
and tell you a true crime story. Instead, we'll be drinking
somebody
metaxa
should do that.
and
They should-
hearing your story.
They
I
should
like
tell
it.
true crime stories while they make drinks.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh.
Do they do that?
That's your thing.
I'm going to
No,
steal
do it
that
now.
idea, Eric.
Do it. Do
Yeah,
it.
do it.
Make a drink, and then you're showing the people while
Yeah.
you're making it, and then tell a story.
He's the drunk detective.
There were 7 people murdered.
That's I'm telling you.
Right.
Did you get the blender
True Crime
going?
Tuesday is where you tell us a story about a crime that maybe you were connected to in some way, or perhaps you committed the crime and now you've paid your debt to society. 713-390-KRBE. This is Houston, Texas, man. We're not short on crime stories, unfortunately. Let's hear yours next on The Rule and Ryan Show.
104.1 KRBE. It's the Rule and Ryan Show. We call it True Crime Tuesday. Either you were a victim of this, you witnessed a crime, maybe you committed the crime.
Well, we've got Ryan standing by, not Ryan on the mic.
Different Ryan.
Our listener, standing by at 713-390-KRBE. And from what I understand, his has to do with a visit to New Orleans, and it's quite a story. Hi, Ryan. Good morning. Welcome to the Rule and Ryan Show.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thank you for calling. You want to share with us your story? What happened to you in New Orleans?
Yeah, so I was in New Orleans for my fantasy football draft, and I had been out at the bars with my buddies, and they were ready to go back to the hotel.
Is this recently?
Stupid.
This season?
How long
Or-
ago was this?
Yeah, this was last weekend.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
This is fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
And we're
smart.
talking about Bourbon Street here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw a shiny object. It was a cool looking bar, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and have another drink. And so I go in, and I'm having a drink. I'm joking with a couple of people at the bar next to me, and literally, guys, it's like lights out, like completely blackout. And I wake up at some point, and I'm in some random person's car. And then it's like lights out again, and then suddenly,
What do you mean
I
lights
wake
out?
up.
Were you roofied or did you get knocked out?
So we think I was roofied.
Okay.
But how'd you black
And,
out again when you were in the car? Because that were they
Probably was wearing off.
Because you said you blacked out
So-
again in the car. How'd that happen?
So we don't know if I just like came to briefly and then blacked out again, or if like I woke up and then they hit me. But all I know is I woke up outside some random hotel, like in the pouring rain, and some homeless guy, God bless him, was like shaking me like, buddy, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And like I looked down and my ankle was completely busted. Like really, you were talking the other day about having your surgery.
Ankle surgery, yes.
And it made me think about this, like, because that might be me in a few months. So basically, once a couple hours later, my friends end up finding me, and I get back to the hotel, and I try logging on because I'm missing my cell phone, I'm missing my credit cards, and I try logging on to Chase. I'm locked out of my Chase account. I try logging on to Wells Fargo. I'm locked out of Wells Fargo. I try logging into Gmail. I'm locked out of Gmail. I try logging on to Apple to track my phone. I'm locked out of Apple. So these people were pros. Like they had, like while I was passed out, they had used my Face ID to get into my phone.
So they got in your keychain.
All of my passwords.
Oh my God.
They were able to take twice the money that was in my checking account out of it. So we had about 4,000 in there. They managed to take 8,000 because of overdraft protection.
Oh, wow.
In addition to numerous charges they made on my credit card. They applied for a new credit card through Apple Pay, like the Apple Card.
Yes, yeah.
Had it immediately added to my Apple Wallet. So basically, my identity was stolen, and because they had locked me out of my Apple account, I couldn't track my phone. So it's been one of those things where like we have like slowly. Every day more information comes out, like just the extent of what they did, and I am just thankful to be alive.
Were there any cameras like in this?
Yeah, and it's
bar
terrifying.
To see them drag you out, or do you think they took you to the back alley, or?
Yeah, so I filed a police report, obviously with NOLA PD, and that's one of the things that they're looking into. So we think with the extent of the theft, I mean, it's well over 10 grand. We think that they're going to take it a little bit more seriously than they might, like other petty theft or whatever. But that's definitely one of the things where they're going to be like looking at the cameras at the bar that I was at the various ATMs. There was a lot of Winn-Dixie's involved, so we think that it was probably someone who either works at Winn-Dixie or has a connection there, because what employee is going to not have their suspicion raised when someone is using a debit card to make like multiple $500, $1,000 transactions over and over.
Oh, gosh.
Inside, yeah.
Okay, real quick, let me reset. Ryan, that is our listener, Ryan, on the phone for True Crime Tuesday. Last weekend, he was in New Orleans for a fantasy football draft. He was drinking at a bar. Were you alone or were you there with friends at this bar?
So this is where I messed up. So I was with friends, but my friends went back to the hotel, and I foolishly decided to go to one more bar by myself. And I was talking to my wife about it, and I said, like no one's going to victim shame a girl that is roofied and gets raped. But she said also girls know better than to not go to bars by themselves. And I mean, she has a point there. And I learned the hard way.
They were probably eyeing they probably have feelers everywhere. And they're like, ooh, we got a stray that's wandered off.
So I wonder
did you order a drink? Like, did you have a beer? I'm just trying to figure out like how they got the roofie in you.
Did you walk away from your drink at any time, or were you served drinks and you were drinking them straight at the bar from the bartender?
Talking to the people, got distracted? I mean, it's hard to tell when you're blacked out.
I was drinking mixed drinks, so it's likely, like, while I was engaged in a conversation with these two people to my right, that I'm assuming that someone from my left, probably just put something in there.
Squeezed an eyedropper in there for
Man, so you blacked out. Your identity was stolen. You were robbed. You were left alone. How did you get from where you woke up and the homeless man was asking you, "Are you okay?"
How'd you get to the hotel?
Did you go to the hospital, or what'd you do? How'd you get off the street?
So he basically this guy, seriously, he was an angel. And like, he even like sat there and had a conversation with me, and he was like, my man, you need to check yourself. You don't want to end up like me. He basically carried me into the lobby at the hotel that I was dumped outside of.
Oh, wow.
And basically they're like, "Are you staying here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm staying at this other hotel." And what's weird is it was only like 2 blocks away. So we're these are expert criminals, but they're also the nicest criminals in the world, because they had the courtesy to dump me 2 blocks from my hotel. And so they
don't want you dead. They just want your stuff.
Yeah.
So did they break your ankle?
Yeah, what's happening with your ankle? You said your ankle is totally busted.
Or just think that when they tried dragging you out, maybe you twisted it or something happened?
Yeah, so it's not broken, but it's got multiple sprains. So we're basically, I'm in a boot I'm in a boot for the next month, and I think then we'll evaluate from there if I need surgery. But to answer the question on how I got from where I was dumped back to the hotel, so the hotel staff actually let me like sleep on a bench in their lobby for like 4 hours. And then finally they came to me and they're like, they were the nicest people in the world. They were so accommodating. They said, can we call someone for you? And I'm like, well, I don't have my phone. I don't have any of my friends' contacts, but this is the hotel that I'm staying at. This is the number. And so they called them and they came and got me. And because my ankle was busted, they actually pushed me back to the hotel on a luggage cart.
Oh, wow.
I did like the roll of shame.
That's
Like, it was
really
so
nice.
funny.
Things that you see in New Orleans, because you know what would have happened, Ryan? Somebody would have snapped the picture saying only in New Orleans. Like they think, oh, there's a drunk guy on a baggage cart, not knowing you've been roofied, your ankle's broken, you were robbed, your identity stolen, and you have no idea where you are.
Have you regained use of your phone? Like, obviously you're on the phone right now, but have you regained use of any of your accounts?
Yeah, so the first thing I did was
Uh-oh.
case.
Wait, say that again because your phone dropped
broke
out. The
up
first
there.
thing you did was what?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, but your phone
yeah.
had just broken out for a second. You said the first thing you did was what?
Yeah, so I called the banks. They basically closed my accounts, transferred me to new accounts. So the weirdest thing is with my Apple ID, their Apple is not going to give me my Apple ID back until next week. Like they gave me like a very specific date. Like they said September 19th, we'll give you your Apple ID back. So I basically walked into the cell phone store and I said, give me the cheapest phone you have. So I'm actually calling you from a flip phone right now.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons that have been taught in New Orleans. I was taught one as well, and I believe I was roofied or vaped or something like that because I thought I was going to die. Luckily, I did have someone to walk me home. Yeah.
My nephew goes to Tulane there. I'm always like, you're 18 years old. You want to go down to Bourbon
Go out by
Street and
yourself.
stuff. Just like,
See, this is the thing you got to watch out for. And know your surroundings at all times. Do you guys remember?
Thought I did.
yeah, you think
but
that's the thing, you know.
you
like,
think you're
Yeah,
doing.
you did.
how do you know? Would you?
Right.
How about stay with
Yeah,
your
if you're
friends?
looking to the right and somebody gets you from the left,
Ryan, what
you know,
would
unless you're
did
standing
you
there with your hand over your drink
Did
while
Chase
you're
give you the money
talking.
back? You got your money back, or that they took, or how's that work?
Yeah, so the bank said that I think the law in Texas is they have 10 business days to issue a provisional credit, and then they have 45 days to complete the investigation. So we're 100% confident that we're going to get our money back.
Oh, his phone's dropping.
That flip phone.
See, they have insurance to protect against these kind of things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's what
so
makes me
we're-
crazy,
we're-
guys,
we're
is the
hopeful.
criminals count on that kind of crap. The criminals got the money. And I'm glad it doesn't fall back on any of us or you, Ryan, on the phone, who got drugged and kidnapped and robbed in New Orleans. But that's what these dirtbag criminals count on. They steal your identity and they just keep replicating all your stuff to get whatever they can.
Until it
because
gets
that's
locked out.
That's a better income for them than having a real job. Dirt bags. I can't with that. Ryan, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank God you got your life.
Definitely don't play around with that sprained ankle.
What's your wife
'cause
think?
That's
She's
where I
like,
am now.
honey, you can do your fantasy football, but
No
not-
more boys trips.
No more New Orleans. Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah, no. She made it very clear that I'm done with guys' trips for the time being.
Yeah.
Hey, who was
Yeah,
your first?
I don't blame you.
Who was your first pick?
Austin Eckler.
Ah,
Okay.
well, good luck. At least it wasn't Aaron Rodgers.
Eric wants to
Oh,
get.
That's
yeah.
really
Yeah, he's
he's
done now
out.
for the season, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, thank you so much for sharing your story. Give us an update when you find out what more about when you got your Apple ID back. It's True Crime Tuesday here on the Rule and Ryan Show. Diana is up next at 713-390-KRBE. If Ryan's story was crazy about getting kidnapped, drugged, and blacked out in New Orleans,
Less than a week
Diana's.
ago. Wow.
Whoa. Hi, Diana. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning. You want to share
Before
with us?
you get into your story, I want to know your timeline of your story. How recent was your story you were about to tell us? Like Ryan's just happened last weekend. How recent was yours?
Yeah. So mine was probably, I don't know, in the last 10 years. So it was
Okay.
maybe 10 years ago, before I was married, before I had babies,
Gotcha.
when I was dating. But then recently is when it all came full circle.
Okay.
Oh,
Probably a
what's
month
the
ago.
story?
Lay it on
Tell
us.
us.
What
What happened?
So I met a guy, like I said, I was single. I was living my best single life. And I met a guy online. I had been out with friends. I went and met him after we had been out. And whatever. I hit it. I quit it. I never talked to him again. He was kind of weird.
Okay.
But he's weird. I like that you didn't quit it, but he's weird. All right.
He was weird.
what-
Wait, did you
what
think he
was-
was weird after you slept with him or before, but he was hot and you thought, I'll never see him again? You said he was weird.
I thought it was hot and I'd never seen him again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, what was weird about it? I'm just curious. I think it has to do with the story. What was weird? Like, what set off your
I
weird
don't know.
vibes?
I thought it was just a vibe. He just had this
Okay.
kind of like, it wasn't really anything he said. Like he had a really nice place. He seemed really nice. I can't really remember since it was so long ago.
Okay.
I just remember I had like that ick, and I was like, okay, no, never seeing him again. It is, whatever.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
maybe a couple months would pass by, and he would message me on that dating site again. And he'd be like, he'd be really nice and sweet. And
Can we do that again?
Then I wouldn't answer, and he'd get really mad, and he'd get really like vulgar, and
Uh-oh.
then I really wouldn't answer. And so then a couple
Yeah,
more months,
nice.
I would block him. So then a couple more months would pass, and he'd get another profile on that dating site,
Whoa.
and he would message me again, and it would be the same cycle. So it was really weird. So I just kept blocking him. Like I just put it out of my mind. I was like, this is just so weird. So
Right.
that happened probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and I just kept thinking like, God, this guy's just insane. Whatever. So fast forward, and I was on, I pull up KHOU just to see what's going on in Houston, in the world. And I'm scrolling, and, one of the top stories at the top, and I see this guy's picture, and I'm like, God, that guy looks familiar.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, where do I know this guy from? And it was just like racking my brain. And so I'm sending it to people. I'm like, how do we know this person? Who is this? And everybody's like, we don't know him. Who is that? I'm like, I don't know. They're really familiar. And so I'm reading the story, and they're talking about like out of Cyprus. And I'm like, oh, I kind of remember that. And, I was drinking too. So obviously wasn't making great decisions. And so everything was, blurry. And it was 10 years ago. So I was like, I don't know. And so I was reading through it, and it had a name, and it had an address. So I went ahead and I Googled the address, and it was the HAR listing came up for that house. And as soon as I pulled up the pictures for the house, it had really distinct, like these small square windows at the top in the living room.
Okay.
And as soon as I saw the windows, I automatically knew that.
You remembered.
It just all like hit me who he was. Yeah.
Okay.
Why was
So
he
the
on
story-
KHOU's website in the news? What did he do?
Yeah.
He murdered his mother, and he chopped her up into little pieces and
Shut
built a
up.
And he
And
built
what?
he
And
built
what?
he built a what?
he built a box out of like what are those pallets?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And put her
shipping
body
pallets.
in it.
So he kept her
And-
body
What?
inside
And
the
he
Yeah.
house.
kept her in there?
It was for a couple days, and then he like nailed her shut, but he decapitated her.
Oh my God.
And then
Oh,
chopped the rest
my-
of her into little pieces.
So
Gosh.
what happened to Mr. Mom in the Box? How'd they catch him?
Oh, my gosh.
He gave a story to the sister that the mom had went out of town. And so he had siblings, normal siblings, I guess, and they were like, where's mom? And so the sister finally went over there, and he like had a shotgun and like told her to leave.
Oh, my.
So of course she came back with the cops.
Does that blow your mind? Wait,
Holy
can I ask you,
shit.
does it blow your mind that you slept with a murderer?
Gosh.
It's
Oh,
not her
my
fault. We're trying to shame her.
God.
No, but I mean,
Is that what you
it's
take
not
away
your
from the
fault.
story, Ryan? That is not what I take
No,
away
but I
from
mean,
the
I
story.
would think that would freak me
I'm
out,
glad
like
he didn't
knowing
get
that I
you.
slept with somebody that was a killer.
I'm just glad she's
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
God. And is he in jail now? That's how it comes around 10 years later. Now you know the story. He's in jail. How much time did he get? What's the story? How does it end?
I mean, he just recently, I think it was last year that he
Surprise
set the bomb up. And so his sentencing or like his trial or whatever it was just happened like a month or two ago. That's
Okay.
why I was
And
back
what'd he get?
on KHOU.
He's out on
Do you know what he got?
What is he in
I
trouble?
think he got, I think it was still happening.
Okay.
So we
Yeah,
don't
it takes
know
a
exactly.
while.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, off the air.
Off the air,
should
tell us
we know
the
his
name.
name? I want to know off the
Oh,
air.
you
I
said-
want to know his
it's like
name. Or you can say it on the
HOU,
air.
yeah.
What is it? What's
Just
his
say it off the air.
name?
Say it off the air just to be safe.
Off air, off air. Okay,
knows?
I'm going to put her down.
Yeah,
I'm going to put her down. I don't want to just
yeah.
share too much information and then I come back.
And all of a sudden, we're in a lawsuit.
Whoa.
Then we become part of the story.
We're gonna get chopped up.
Wow, that is crazy, man. You guys brought it for True Crime Tuesday.
Wow.
That is it.
Good.
We had other callers, but there ain't no
There's
time
a
for
lot.
that.
You Google on KHU, man chops up mom. There's way too many stories that pop up.
Oh, gosh.
That's
More than one.
It should just be one, and there's more.
There's way more than one.
Wow. All right, we'll get her. We'll get
Holy
the info.
smokes, Diana. I'm so glad you're okay. Good Lord. All right.
Actually,
well, that's fun.
ABC 13 has it too. Cyprus mom killed man dismembers.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what somebody
gosh.
just sent to us. They found it in 2
That's
seconds.
what everybody's going to be doing now at work.
Yep, I know. I'll be doing
That's
this
when
break.
you really believe you got a guardian angel looking out for you.
Wow.
Well, let's go to
He
some
got 40
scoop
years,
and
people are
cleanse the
saying.
palate there.
Good.
He got
Yeah.
40 years?
That's it.
That's it.
Because 40 years
That
is
might be
really
the rest
how
of his
many
life.
years?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care.
if the guy's like 40, that's,
I don't give a crap. You kill
Yeah,
someone.
why
You don't get the actual 40 years
absolutely,
usually.
I agree with you. You should lose your life if you kill
I
somebody.
hope to God he doesn't like get out in 10. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how crazy the law works sometimes.
Especially here's this.
Rule and Ryan show.
Yeah.
Well, on the plus
Okay,
side, I
moving
have
along. Look at
a
the shiny thing over
concert
here.
coming up on Sunday we can talk about.
Yes, we could do that. Also, it's Halloween time, and we're all creeped out now from that story. What do you think the best horror movie is from every decade in film? There is a list, and I'm going to guess you're not going to agree with it. We'll do it in Scoop next on The Rule and Ryan Show.
All right, so this is the Rula and Ryan show. Hey, Rula, we're going live right now because my board decided that it didn't like me right now.
Aw.
And it's
All
like,
right, why
you
don't
know
we do
what?
sound
We
effects
don't want
like
to go into commercials.
No. While you figure that out, we'll just do what we need to do. Usually, Scoop is brought to you by Innovative Lasers of Houston. We have little sound effects, but those are going to be dead now because of a tech fail. But Sam does have some interesting information about the Drake concert. You want me to do it, Sam, or you can do it?
Yeah,
I'll do it
what
while
you got
you
going on,
talk.
Sam?
Just today at 10:47, Drake is here in Houston. His concert
At
is going to be
10:47 he is?
No, sorry.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
hold on. His concert
wait.
is Sunday.
Yes.
And I have tickets at 10:47 this
Okay.
morning for his concert on Sunday.
Oh, that's
Okay,
nice.
bravo. 10:47 with Sam because she's on till noon. And,
Ryan didn't have time to wash his hands down, so no one touched
I'm
him.
standing there
Don't touch
peeing. I'm like, what the
anything,
hell's
too.
going on? Why can't I hear the radio station? I'm like, uh-oh.
Go wash your hands, you
Oh,
have
no, he
time.
just touched the door.
I wipe my hands down.
There's no way.
There's the Purell in there.
There's no way.
The Purell is ready to smell my hands. They got Purell.
I
there.
just-
Gross me out. If you go to the
Gross.
bathroom, use the soap and the water. Don't just Purell. That's so gross to me. When people go to the bathroom and they're like, "Oh, I'll just use
Do it there.
Purell."
Double Purell
No,
now.
that's gross. Wash your hands with soap and
I'll go
water.
back and
Ew.
wash them for God's sakes. I heard dead
Okay,
air, and
go
I was like, oh
wash
my
'em.
God.
Well, we
Well,
have
There's
other
other
people,
people in here who
to
got it
talk.
covered.
Yeah, we had a hand
What are
up
you
band.
running for not washing your hands? Go back and wash your hands, man.
Yeah.
I'm not in the same
Hey,
room and I
Dad.
can't handle it.
Sam,
Okay.
hit Control Alt Delete and see
see
if
what
that
happens.
does it.
No,
While you're doing that, let me do this.
I wish that was the case.
I do.
Try it.
While you're doing that, let's do this. Okay, so I saw this thing on Reels yesterday about the we're in the Ember months now: September, October, November, December, and oh my gosh, so exciting! Because I said on Weekends with Rula, which you can hear on Saturdays here on KRBE 6 to 9, that September is my favorite month because it's not quite Halloween. It's not Thanksgiving. It's not Christmas.
Well, it's September.
But all the vibes are everywhere
September
in
sucks.
September.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
love
like,
September.
It's like in the way. It's like we want to get.
No,
to,
I love September.
We want to get to
'Cause it's not-
October. and
Are these
November.
the
It gives
Ember
you like a
months?
break.
There's no
No, I like it.
October.
I like it because it's like, you're planning vacation and vacation's almost here, but it's not here. So you're not sad it's
Plus,
over
it's
yet.
too hot still in Texas.
Oh my God!
I
It's
know,
gonna be
but you
98
can
degrees
still-
today.
It was-
Be inside your
Not
air conditioned
100.
house and pretend like it's a different
Oh,
vibe.
it's
Okay,
Booster's
so-
birthday today.
Oh,
Is it
happy
really?
birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday,
And
Booster.
it's Audrey
Happy
Rose's as well.
birthday.
But happy birthday
Is it
to
really?
B. Mm-hmm.
Are they all hanging out
happy
together?
Birthday.
That's where they are right now.
Baby.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Having brunch mimosas. Okay,
Let's
so
go.
the,
I'm jealous.
the Halloween vibes are out. We were giving away the SeaWorld adventure for SeaWorld Howl Scream. You're going to start seeing lots of scary stuff. People want to see scary movies. Remember how Exorcist, what is it called? Exorcist, what is that Exorcist movie, y'all? Exorcist.
Oh, was it the Pope's Exorcist?
No. It's
That's the one that's on
Exorcist.
Netflix right now.
No. I'm talking coming out in theaters October 6th because they don't want to compete with Taylor's Exorcist something.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember the name of that one. Anyway, so people get their Halloween vibes on, right? So there's a list about the scariest movies from every decade. And usually when there's a list about the American film history, people don't really always agree with that. But MovieWeb.com put this together. and they chose the best scary film from every decade in American film history.
Let's start with the
Most
80s.
people can't
Okay, yeah.
debate.
Yeah, I don't care about the
anything
60s
before
and
the 80s or
70s.
the 70s. And 70s you would care about because that's when Halloween
This is
came out.
Halloween. That's all
that
it is.
1978 Halloween came
Yeah.
out. By the way, that movie you're talking about is The Exorcist Believer. Comes out October 6th.
Believer, that's what it is. Okay, well, I'll go to the 60s because Psycho was the scariest movie of the decade.
It was
for the
groundbreaking
60s.
because it
Alfred
was meant to
Hitchcock's
be
Psycho.
It was meant to be a television show, and while he's filming it, he's like, "This is too good."
Which one? Psycho? I'm confused.
Psycho was supposed to be
Psycho
a
was
TV
Alfred
show,
Hitchcock.
and then he's like, "This is so good, we're going to release it in the theaters." But it was meant to be
and
a TV
it caused
movie.
people to not shower comfortably for decades. 1970s, we hit Halloween. Yep, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see the movies that made us on Netflix, they have Halloween on there, and it's so interesting. With I can't remember the original name of the film. It was like Babysitter's Sleeping or something like that, something dumb. And the guy who directed was like, you know what? If I use the word Halloween, I could use that all the time.
Every year
I will
they'll play it.
Every year they'll play my movie. It's called Halloween.
Like Michael
instead of
Jackson with Thriller.
Babysitter Scared. Right, the
Thriller.
Thriller.
Back in the day, it was played all the time. It was just a number one hit. Mm-hmm. And then now it's just
It's a Halloween song.
Halloween
yeah,
song.
It's a Halloween song.
80s, the scariest horror movie, actually the best horror movie.
Nightmare on Elm
There's a
Street.
difference. Not Nightmare on Elm
Friday
Street.
the
What?
13th.
Not Friday the 13th.
What?
Another guess.
Critters.
No.
I really can't think of it. I mean, the first thing comes to mind is Nightmare.
Hellraiser.
Poltergeist.
No, although all good films.
All right, lay it on us.
The 1980s best horror movie, according to MovieWeb.com, is The Thing. What?
Oh no.
Okay,
So I
well,
said
that's
yeah,
another
John
John
Carpenter's
Carpenter.
The Thing.
Yeah.
I get that in the fog
thing.
mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay, 90s.
The
What do you think
Boar.
the 90s got?
Scream.
What did 90s get?
Scream.
Scream.
Oh, yeah. Scream
Another
is-
guess. Any other guesses?
I know what you did last summer.
Another guess.
I still know what you did last summer.
yeah. Part
Did
two.
Saw come out in the 90s or was that
No, that was
2000?
2006 or
Okay.
so.
Well, Ahmad
Four.
got it. 1990s Scream, the best
Scream.
horror movie.
Okay. It was
It was fun,
original.
huh?
It was
Original.
fun.
So good.
It had a good twist. Mm-hmm. And it was
2000s American Psycho. Anybody see that?
That was a great movie with Christian Bale.
That's not a horror.
I would say that's more
It's
like
more of a
thriller.
psychological thriller, is what it
Yeah.
is. He's like
yeah, when I think horror, I'm
he's
thinking like
this
zombies and skin falling off bones and creepy
successful
stuff.
businessman who is starting a string of murders, and he's always listening to 80s music. He's a big Huey Lewis and News fan, and he'll do a dissertation on that while he's getting ready to kill somebody.
Last one is The Conjuring for the 2010s, and then X for the 2020s. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
X, yeah.
X was so good.
There's
Oh
like
my
three of them,
god!
right?
There's X, and then there's
Prequel?
Pearl, and then Maxine is the next one.
Oh, that's
Well,
not
that's
out
the best
yet.
one
Yeah.
for the 20s, Ahmad. Best horror movie according to MovieWeb.com. All right, coming up next in What's Going Down in H-Town. What you got?
We're going to talk about that fire that just happened at one of our favorite restaurants, as well as a rocket who may be on his way out the door. Next on 104.1 KRBE.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Rula and Ryan Show on KRBE with What's Going Down in H-Town.
It is brought to you by Duncan. Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter has been arrested in New York City, apparently for strangling his 26-year-old girlfriend. Preliminary investigation on the scene determined that the individual struck her multiple times, placed his hands around her neck. According to police sources, the victim was upset because he came in late. And then Porter, by the way, he just signed a 4-year contract extension worth $82.5 million last season.
Talk
Now,
about
Porter,
idiocy.
yeah, he
Come
was
on. previously
previously arrested back in November 2020 in Ohio on a weapons charge. A grand jury declined to indict him. However, the Cavaliers made him inactive for the first half of the season when he was traded to Houston back in January
Time to
2021.
get rid of them.
I'm with you there.
I mean, how? Let's
No
think about
tolerance
this.
for that.
How
None.
How dumb is that? First of all, it's ridiculous to ever strike anybody, especially a woman.
Yes.
And one that you claim to love or be in a romantic relationship with. But number two, you have an $82 million contract. You have $82 million.
just blew it.
And you're just blowing it because you can't control your temper and you
Think
have
about it,
issues
though,
with
really,
rage.
people baby you and you're that rich.
You blew it, diphead.
Yeah, they treat celebrities like, they're gods and that. And after a while, they get that complex. They think they can do no wrong.
I'm sorry. Can't get away with that one.
I'm hoping we find out other things that this didn't happen like this, but
The evidence looks pretty damning right now. Okay, so Rula, you brought this up last hour. There was a fire at Good Company, and that's at the one at 8911 Katy Freeway right near
Good
Voss
Company
Road.
Barbecue, not Cantina. 'cause
Yes,
there's two
the
on-
barbecue.
on on Katie.
I'm so upset because I go to this one all the time. I love
Someone
this
said,
one.
You don't eat meat. What do you?
No, I eat turkey.
well,
I get the turkey. I've taken Faith there like a million gazillion times. She'll get the brisket, I get the turkey. But firefighters said the cookers themselves didn't catch on fire. It appears the heat from outside of the chimney sparked the flames. The interior dining room has got some water damage, according to officials. No employees were at the restaurant during the fire, and thank God no injuries were reported.
And what about the dogs next door? Do we know about the dogs?
I think it
No,
was
nothing
really good
happened.
sniff.
That animal emergency clinic is there, and that place, man, they do great work. I mean, I've unfortunately had to take my dog to that ER clinic. Kevin, didn't you have to take yours there?
Absolutely. Yeah, they've helped me as well. They're a little expensive, but they've helped.
Yeah, but they'll save your life. You'll save your pet's life.
Yep, they will.
Well,
Not
that's
to be
what's going down.
confused for those who listen with one ear. It's not the dog clinic that caught fire.
No,
No.
no. But there is one really right in that
You
same
guys are just
parking
going on a
lot.
tangent on the clinic.
Right to the right of Good Company. It's there. That's what's going down in H-Town. Now, coming up next, it's Rule and Ryan's Revenge.
It's two sisters, sister versus sister, and oh man, this gets really rough. You got to hear what they're fighting about next on the Rule and Ryan Show.